into it in the first rotation before it did get banned out. But this time around, it actually might give TT exactly what they need to be able to make sure that Ucal can find consistent impact throughout this game instead of just one great dragon fight.
Yeah, I do feel like you need to have that, as you say, consistent impact to make things work. But the Aatrox locked in as well. That's going to be dealing with the Rumble. It's just picked up as a, you know you're going to lose the lane. You're just there to sustain and make sure you don't die. Have seen a couple of around the leagues, a couple of failed ganks onto the Aatrox. He's definitely not someone to be underestimated, shall we say, in those 2v1 dives. But with both teams locked and loaded, TT on the back foot, Weibo, they fought hard and they got themselves that victory in that game one. They need to try and bring it back here, and I do feel like Light is just going to be one of those key carries again. He had a fantastic game number one. Going to need it again in game number two.
Now Light going to need to be able to show that they can be able to play the dominant side, you know, the strong 2v2, be able to start finding these advantages like we saw 1xN doing in the previous game. And it definitely feels like XiaoHao going to do his best to try to enable them with this Jarvan. Because like you said, it'll be so hard to be Aphelios to dodge out the EQs coming through. Once the Cataclysm's online, 1xM's job is going to be rough.
It's going to be very, very rough. We'll see what these guys can do. Very similar picks, just on different champions or different players coming into this game. Weibo looking to sound themselves off and continue a good start. TT waiting to see what else they can do. Again, we're very much seeing where we put them in our rankings. TT, they could be a top 6 team, maybe even a top 4 team if they get their day going. As I don't believe the intro loaded incorrectly. So we're just looking at a very, very blue sky as we jump into the second game of our first series.
I am so happy to hear the fanfare around TT. Again, you expect it for Weibo with the names on this roster, but good that TT's getting the respect that it feels like they deserve. Kind of some interesting things coming into this game, right? TT gonna have to be very conscious of early ganks. Things like the level 2 or the level 3 coming out from XiaoHao will always be there. Even just burning a summoner would be so detrimental to any of these immobile soul, hell, not even soul laners, right? Immobile carries on the side of TT, all of them gonna feel so much threat from this Jarvan, to where TT can have a bit of a slower start. Hoya will have pressure in the 1v1, but that itself could even open up something for XiaoHao to do.
That's the thing, Jarvan has just so much impact in the early game. Having that flag and drag, giving, you know, even the Demacian standard in general, just giving you a flat, you know, attack speed buff in those early stages can be the difference. And we'll wait to see what early impact he can have as we move into this game. But for now, I imagine we're going to have a very similar level of calmness, shall we say, for the first few minutes of this game. Don't expect to see XiaoHao look for an invade off of this on this Jarvan into the Nocturne, but I mean, look, stranger things have happened. But yeah, I'm expecting this to be a pretty bog standard first 5-6 minutes of the game. Not really a lot happening.
Yeah, I don't, at least don't expect to see junglers really scrap all that much. Both junglers are going to be ending up on the bot side of the map, so they're going to run into each other. If XiaoHao goes for any type of, like, interesting, you know, take red, maybe start hovering around that tri-brush, it can set up for you running up to the Nocturne. But, ooh, actually looks like TT want to look for a bit of a play top. Are going to have the wave in. ZDZ hasn't really lost too much health, so as Hoya, you'd actually like to find a bit more heavy trading coming through first.
I mean, we did see a pot just being burnt there by Beichuan. Now they know that he's going for that full dive. TP is available for Xiaohu if he wants to go for it. They haven't taken anything just yet. A flash away, tanking the turret. Beichuan gonna go down. I talked about diving. Oh, no. You just can't do that against an Aatrox. It's just never a good idea.
No, and now has the red buff. Isn't going to lose anything in terms of CS. It's also why I highlighted, I mean, to go for these dives, typically you want to be able to find those heavier trades coming through, even if your top laner would get a little bit low in that situation too. Jungler comes in, he tanks up, your Rumble does the damage. All's clear, it opens up for XiaoHao to actually steal away enemy blue. A lot of things lost for TT in a play that they were trying to make themselves.
Yeah, and again, it was so telegraphed as well, because immediately you could see ZDZ going, cool, I feel like I'm not really safe right now with the amount of pressure coming in, but yeah, look at this one here. Great flash from ZDZ to create that separation.
Yeah, does it in really nice Q2 for the knockup to come through. And Beichuan, I mean, coming from that angle with him tanking the turret, goes down in 3 shots. Now ZDZ, I feel like it's going to have such a good time. I was interested to see which build he would go. Sure, he went the Comet, but I feel like going Comet in this matchup is just kind of right regardless of what you would end up doing, right? Because it would be pretty hard to stay in elongated trades with Conqueror. But especially if he does go that Profane Hydra, he's just going to be able to melt that Rumble, even in the 1v1.
Oh, yeah. Big time. So building up towards a Hex Drinker first to make sure there is no real kill potential, and that's going to be pretty easy for him to do. And now Beichuan, he's a bit lost in terms of his pathing. When you go for a play like that, you are very much hoping it works out for you, because if it doesn't, you end up in a situation like this, where you're kind of dealing with no real buffs, you're waiting for stuff to spawn, you're a bit all over the place, and now with the Rift Herald, he should be able to smite this one away. And I think ZDZ recognized it as well, so Beichuan comes in. Doesn't even have to use his smite, really, if he doesn't want to, but yeah, just going to get it confirmed there. ZDZ, though, no flash, and Ucal's moving over. They're going to be able to get a pretty easy kill here onto the Aatrox, and after we sang his praises, he just stays a little bit too long. Clockwork wind up picks that one up. Ucal gets a very similar kill in a very similar position in game number 2.
And it's weird because even though it wasn't ZDZ making the mistake in game 1, we saw Weibo make a very similar mistake, right? When XiaoHao was on the Nocturne and went to the enemy jungle when his mid and top didn't have prio and got punished. This game, Ucal able to make the roam. Ucal actually does have a little bit of a CS lead. He's picking this wave up now, so yeah, it just feels a little bit disconnected for Weibo in both games in the early game so far.
A little bit disconnected, a little bit kind of maybe disrespectful as well, just not really anticipating the quickness of TT to be able to react to these things and get the damage down. But for now, it isn't going to lead to too much of an issue, as we see the Crisp is left to deal with the bot lane. We actually have a double support item as well. It has become kind of standard for the Lucian Nami lanes that we've seen throughout the splits and throughout the leagues. But for now, it is a pretty sizable kind of nothingness, really, between the two teams. Both teams just waiting again for more to kind of pop up and be available on the Rift.
Yeah, definitely needing more. We are getting to the point, though, where we're getting level 6s. So both teams going to be in a bit of a stronger position going forward. Hoya also going to go with the Swifties rather than, like, Source Shoes, which is, you know, the other alternative. I think knowing it will be quite hard to burn ZDZ down, especially with him making his way towards that Hex Drinker.
And we just wait. There's not really a lot to say right now. Level 6s will be coming online for a couple of the solo laners. Junglers a little bit behind on that. XiaoHao has started up the Dragon. We'll let the reset come in because he has not got the presence or priority that he needs. But now with the bot lane of Weibo finally getting their lanes in order, should be able to kind of move back off of that. ZDZ and Hoya having a little bit of a slapstick thing. And interesting to Hoya as well, he actually went for the Swifties straight away to try and maybe just get some kind of movement going, especially with that Ignite. You do love that chase down potential if you are looking for a kill on top side.
Yeah, I also feel like it'd just be really hard to be able to find any like meaningful pen with like up against ZDZ in the 1v1. I'm curious if a fight actually happens here, because I feel like in the straight 4v4, Weibo should be slightly stronger. Culling already up.
qiuqiu taking about half his HP down. That Dragon almost confirmed just yet. No vision here for TT to really confirm that they can go in for that fight. If they knew how low that was and how separated Weibo were in terms of the positioning, they may have gone for something a little bit more aggressive. But for now, it is just a pretty easy objective for Weibo to go as they look to stack some more dragons in their favor. I will say we have been getting a huge amount of Chem Souls, and with an Infernal and a Cloud already, it's still very much possible we get another Chem Soul on this game.
I don't know why. I don't know what we did for this to come to pass. But I also want to highlight, despite the fact that we really don't have much of a CS lead in the bot lane, there apparently is a meaningful experience lead, because Light hit 6, you know, before last fight even happened. 1xN just hitting level 6 right now. So going to be a lot of power to play around with this solution. Hell, Light even still kind of waiting for a bit of a recall. Probably has a bit of gold in his pocket. Maybe
being a bit cheeky there, trying to see if they can get the Aqua Prison down, but not quite able to make it work. But yeah, I completely agree. It does feel like, I think we saw it a couple of times where Light was able to get, you know, kind of more significant backs off to get more pressure in, get the World Atlas, get himself back onto the map. So these little changes, these little small positioning changes from the side of Weibo do lead to small advantages. If you see those molehills can become mountains, but yeah, for now, no real reason to fight super crazily, but XiaoHao is towards his top side.
XiaoHao absolutely always thinks there's a reason to fight crazily, and he's ready. He's ready to do it. Cataclysm's there. Come on, ZDZ, land the chains.
He looks for the chain, doesn't quite get it. I do know that Beichuan is around here. Hoya thinking something's up and will get his suspicions confirmed as he pops down a ward, keeps himself safe, and even Beichuan just hovering off in the wings, making sure if there were to be any more afters, he was very much in a position to capitalize and to go for something a little bit more beneficial for TT.
We can also see it's gonna be so hard to keep Hoya in that slow when he has these Swifties. Just allowing him to get out. So just another good reason to pick it up against this Aatrox. Now, both teams positioning up, but look at the mini-map. qiuqiu is here first. So Weibo, looks like they're not even going to go for any type of contest.
No contests. They live over the 6 grubs over to TT. So, I mean, with a Rumble in the side lane, if he gets up to a point where he's able to have a bit of free time on a turret with that overheat, he will do significant damage. So not game-changing damage, but definitely significant enough. And that's where this game can take a bit of a turn. So right now, Weibo, recognizing that qiuqiu had left the lane, is going to just have to hold down this bot side. And like I said, it's significant XP lead, already about a half a level. It's not full level ahead. He could even be 2 levels by the end of this wave if they're not settling up to anytime soon.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be a bit careful though with, you know, Paranoia up. They know Grub's been taken, which means Beichuan should kind of naturally be making his way down towards the spot side. If Light and Crisp overextend, a lot's gonna be on Crisp to land that CC to make sure that Beichuan doesn't just get right on top of Light. You know, Moonlight Vigil follows up and takes him down. But going back to that Grub point, it feels like TT's comp, the only real way they're gonna take advantage of all those mites coming through is like when they are full-on grouped together, pushing a turret as 5, looking for those team fights, because yeah, really not a whole lot of side lane pressure coming out from either soul laner. I guess there's a chance that, you know, if Beichuan pays attention up towards top again, I don't know if it'd be the best call, but if you then kill the Aatrox right, then at least you can take advantage of that objective.
For sure, for sure. Interesting as well, Crisp going double Fiendish Codex. Just stacking up some AP and cooldown. As we see now, Ucal, he's getting put into the bounce house just a little bit. The Cataclysm comes in to finally get him down. He had a little bit of a shutdown just purely because of his kill in the CS, but he is taken out without any real fight back. And that Paranoia is basically useless.
Yeah, I tried to get the Shockwave onto himself. I'm not sure if it even connected to XiaoHao since he was mid-jump in from the Cataclysm. But even if it had, wouldn't have done a meaningful enough damage for Beichuan to even be able to really find an avenue in. This will lead XiaoHao to being able to pick up that Black Cleaver, so going to be really strong going into the next fight. We're 30 seconds away from second Drake, and Weibo can really start getting the stack going quite early on.
Yeah, they really can. And again, this is just really smart play from Xiao, who recognizes, yep, we got an opportunity. Welcome to the bounce house. Nothing you can really do here as Ucal. Oh, we're going back live.
Both flashes
already. Yeah, we're gonna see the equalizer come down. The rest of his team are coming in. They will get the kill. And now ZDZ can maybe turn and burn for Beichuan. He's gonna flash over the backside of the pit, you would imagine, and keep his life. But now Weibo starting to turn up the heat a little bit, getting a kill in mid, getting a kill in top. These are the moves that they're gonna have to make if they want to try and take this game a little bit cleaner than game number 1.
XiaoHao getting there a bit faster was the difference maker, or it looked like ZDZ would have gone down for sure. So it's going to lead XiaoHao to finding pressure to moving over to this Drake. And we see Hoya trying to go for a reset, gets punished for it. Still dealing a lot of damage with this Rumble. I guess, yeah, we don't need the rest of that replay. I don't know if TT even have an angle to contest Dragon here, but,
no.
You know, we seem to think they do.
I mean, they have no pressure bot lane. qiuqiu and 1xn have to back away. They don't have a paranoia. It's difficult at best. They're going to try and re-establish some control in their bot side in terms of vision, but even that's super hard to do just because with the Dragon going down, XiaoHao is in the area. They can't really move forward on this. Storm Razor picked up, Imperial Mandate finished up as well for Crisp. This is just such a powerful position to be in. And yeah, 1xn just taking such punishment. It will be fine because he's got Emilio with him with the campfires, but still, you can see just how much power is available to Weibo in this bot side.
And this is where I'd like to see Weibo's bot lane potentially start moving up and see if they can use that pressure to get the Herald. Doesn't look like they will, but plates are about to go down. Actually, plates now just are down, so not really going to be able to do much to take advantage of this 2v2. If Weibo can get Rift Herald, they're really going to be able to start breaking open this map easily. And TT's comp, when it falls behind, I mean, there's still avenues there, right? We saw what the FLs could do last game, but Hoya...
Oh, Hoya. He's nearly got himself into a bad situation. I feel like if it was just maybe a half second later that Xiaohu reveals himself and then Hoya takes another step forward, they maybe get the kill there because there was no flash available for the Rumble. But again, just so difficult to make things work here. And this is really good movement here from Weibo. They're just moving their pressure from bot, slowly transitioning it towards the top side, making sure they're picking up. And TT straight up, they're behind the play. They're not really stepping up to where they need to step. And now, oh my God, he's got the paranoia. He's only going to be able to get to use it now, but I mean, it's just so difficult to make this one land. They're going to try and jump on the light. They will kill him off, but just about, and it is going to be a turret taken in the top side as Weibo had top side pressure.
Honestly, I like how Weibo were hoping that they could do something else about the play. They weren't able to. We're going to have turret trades coming through. TT, Crisp, you're going to have to be careful. God, I guess even just the lack of information, right? TT not really knowing where XiaoHao or Xiaohu is at this point. If they did, they fully could have gone on and at least forced Chris Flash. But that lack of information on top side not going to allow them to do so. And gold somehow still going to stay so even.
Yeah, only about 500 between the two. The big thing I'm noticing, though, for Weibo, and very much in their favor, is they still have a Rift Herald and they're 2 stacks of a Dragon up towards a Mountain Soul. So this is still Weibo feeling a bit more comfortable in this game, but still got to give props to TT. They haven't been taken completely out of this game just yet. They even have a little bit of a CS lead in that bot side. Actually, a big CS lead as well in the top lane. But, of course, EDZ picking up those 2 kills does equal that one out fairly evenly. And again, we wait to see where these two teams want to try and take their next fight, but this series feels antsy. It feels like these two teams don't just want to wait for the objective and take the standard 5v5 or, you know, like we did in the last game. Right now, it just feels like this game is going a little bit more to the weird and wonderful.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Weibo have been a little bit on the front foot in terms of like where XiaoHao's been making an impact on the map, and that's been forcing TT to make some, you know, maybe less than stellar decisions. I think it was a good call to not go contest topside, though, right? We highlighted the item differences that came out before that play. But TT now looking to set up a bit of a bait. Paranoia has come back up.
Oh, the shockwave combination lands on the 3. They will put down the Cataclysm, though, to make sure nobody gets out of there. You don't take our life, and you don't get out for free. But now a TP coming in, that's going to be Xiaohu looking for something, but they had already moved themselves back towards the turret. He nearly had the timing on that to maybe get a Flash Emperor's Divide, but a 1-for-1 trade as the jungler for the AD carry. But now Hoya, he's on a flank, and he's got an Equalizer.
Oh, he has Equalizer. This is going to be scary. They're going down.
They're going for XiaoHao, but he's a little bit isolated now, and now Hoya finds himself just not really in a position to take this, and now he's going to be turned on and burned down himself. He's going to look for maybe a little bit more off this. He goes into the overheat. ZDZ 3-1. Hoya just got left out to dry there. It feels like the rest of his team just went, nah, never mind, we're not going for that anymore.
Like, Xiaohu was single-handedly zoning them off, and I get, he has an Emperor's Divide. Even if they did, like, rush forward, he could push them back. But they did nothing. They didn't even think like, hey, let's force this out. Let's try this. Just send Hoya in to his... Man, I'm going to be scratching my head about that one for a little bit, right? Like, you have to assume Hoya didn't just do it by himself. But like you said, beautiful combo coming out with the Nocturne Orianna. Sadly, though, Cataclysm into Bubble. Lucian did get the last hit, which allows him to get that kill. But this is where it's like, okay, Hoya comes through, 2 low members. And then it's just the Azir. They try to walk forward. Xiaohu just zoning them off. Yeah, man. I think that one's a real weird one.
It just feels, again, the equalizer wasn't exceptional. It was a bit closer to the wall than you probably want it to be. And we just saw it in the picture-in-picture there. Beichuan lost his flash because he almost went down in that last little skirmish towards bot side. So now this is Mountain's sole point. This is significant. That extra shielding, when you're looking at a burst combination of a paranoia into a shockwave, can be massive going forward into this game. We have a look at the replay, and yeah, he just gets found out and immediately gets bursted, almost gets killed.
Yeah, and it's been little trap plays like that that have been working so well. Now moving forward, right, 3-1-0 on the Aatrox. We have the Profane Hydra, which, I mean, when someone's below 50% HP, right, that 150% AD ratio is disgusting.
And that damage was also
so
disgusting.
Moonlight Vigil.
Yeah, so is Moonlight Vigil as a heal comes out from Chris to make sure Light doesn't just die. 1xN is feeling pretty good about that, but now Hoya is taking another unfavorable trade, maybe looking for an equalizer play here on the ZDT. Does pop himself up into his own ultimate. The rest of TT trying to move themselves up here. An ult for an ult leaves the world without their engage tools, and everyone just calms down. Again, I feel like this game just got real antsy out of nowhere, and we got a sole point in 4 minutes 20, so they have to be ready for that next fight.
You know, I actually have a question for you, because I feel like one thing from just watching League of Legends now is it seems like there's just so much more damage and like front-loaded damage in terms of items in the game that even if like a lot of nice tank items came through and like cheaper tank items, maybe I don't get to ask you a question, Machine. Maybe we're gonna get to see the damage once again. But what do you think?
I think the damage is pretty significant there. The Shockwave Paranoia combination into the fear. We're gonna see Hoya try and burn down Xiaohu, who flashes away. They can't get the damage. He's got a tick of Ignite. No, he doesn't. And xiaoHao drives by and gets out. Weibo getting away with their lives. And because you moved everyone topside, bot lane's gonna be taken for free.
29 HP. Light could also come in with the culling. I forgot that this is the LPL, and we just really need to be ready and expecting action at any time.
Yeah, the Ultra Prime LGD series maybe gave us a little bit of false hope, but I mean, look how close this is. And I mean, if you have an equalizer, this is 2 kills, but because that's on cooldown, it can't combo up.
No, and right there, Ucal not being able to follow through because he doesn't have a flash, that could have been a difference maker. Great Cataclysm to make sure that Hoya can't finish off that kill, but like you said, my god, 29 HP, that's how much he had to get away. And now, I love that we're at the part of the game that's like, we're both just gonna make cheeky brush plays, waiting for whoever walks in to come through next. Not a whole lot to fight for, especially, hell, we even look at like both junglers like camps. Nothing up. The Gromp for Beichuan gonna be up soon. No neutral objectives, and outer turrets down across the board, except I guess the last standing one in mid for Weibo. So really, there isn't a whole lot to fight for. It's just gonna come down to vision control and vision denial.
And the big thing for Weibo here, just back on your point about the fact that they still have that mid-tier 1, it just means that they're not afraid of moving forward. They're not afraid of taking back control of the vision in the Dragon Pit because they have that safety, because they have that sentry literally there to make sure that they're not going to get caught. We will see that 1xN just before this next Dragon fight will get itself an Infinity Edge, so he's in a fantastic spot. But I mean, for TT, there's no choice right now. You have to fight this Dragon. You cannot let this go back to the wayside because, again, that shield is massive.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be getting big, right? You're going to be getting resistances on people like ZDZ as well. That are going to get enabled. XiaoHao, it's going to get there. The shield, especially when you're running a comp that does have a lot of burst in it. I mean, again, you have 1xN who's going to be there putting out that DPS.
Oh, they're going to try another shockwave combination, but it doesn't land.
Oh.
He sombreros. Welcome to the holiday home, because now they can turn and burn, but Light died off to the side. If they can kill off Beichuan, though, it could be massive. Maybe they look for the Baron with no jungler available. TP coming in. They're looking for a flank. The tidal wave here to try and separate them off. 1xN is by himself, but he wants to fight 1v1, but he's not being allowed to. He'll try and heal on the Severum, and the raid boss that is ZDZ taking on everybody. He won't hit himself on the Q, and a bit of supportal combat right at the end. Not quite going to go the favor of Chris, but he's still chasing him down. This is such a scrappy and separated fight. Again, Xiaohu finally goes down after no way he got out with that HP. Ucal will be brought back down to his knees as ZDZ picks up a double. Weibo thriving in the chaos, and even in a 4v5, they come out trumps.
How unfortunate for the side of TT, because once again, they're the team starting off the play. A huge gold swing now going over the side of Weibo. You can see on the minimap, they're making their way over to that bot side for the Dragon. But, Ucal, the ball snapping back changes everything.
Yeah, he doesn't even see it there, and then just sombreros. But again, the paranoia using so much there, and Light, unfortunately, a little bit disconnected to Crisp.
Yeah, that being a big difference maker, right? Chris not even really having the opportunity to throw out an ult to try to save him. That would have brought him down. And here, I got a little bit scared that 1xN would just kill Xiaohu. But Xiaohu having enough damage, the other members being here to reinforce him, it's enough to go on. And I was going to say, you know, do we really need to follow the rest of the fight? It kind of does just evolve.
No, because we got another one to go straight back into. Shockwave does land, but Beichuan is dead. You can see Hoya trying to move forward onto this, but he'll go down as well. Light will be sacrificed, but it is a 2-for-1 trade. They still have the raid boss ZDZ, 7-1-1. This Aatrox is enormous and is not going to be going down anytime soon. This is going to be Mountain Soul as well, so he's going to get even bigger.
This is the LPL. This is exactly what you expect to see. You hit on it, Mountain Soul going over. They're huge now. 6K gold lead. They can start pivoting up towards that Baron. Maybe not play for it, you know, right now, considering that those death timers are about to come up, but start setting up for the engage. So we're going to see here, engage on Beichuan comes through. Sure goes to the paranoia. He's already low from all that damage coming through with the Cataclysm. And the rest of TT just not in a position to follow up.
No, just not really there. And the fact that Hoya had to get himself into harm's way just to confirm they kill Light. And even then, honestly, they almost got the healing back off it as well. So there's a little bit of a lucky moment there for the side of TT. They could have wasted it all. But, I mean, this is the Weibo that we saw last time as well, when they were able to have that shaky game one. And then they came back in game number 2 and just smashed, to be perfectly honest. It does seem to be kind of the trend that we're seeing in their first 2 series. I'm sure if you're a Weibo fan, you'd rather them be a little bit more clean in that game 1, but this game 2 has just cat out like 6,000 gold, a Mountain Soul as we hit 26 minutes, and the great thing now is they can keep going on and off of this Baron because they can sustain it.
Look at that, look at that, look at that vision denial coming through. Nowhere is safe for TT.
Oh, the paranoia though from Beichuan. There's going to be the tidal wave just in case. ZDZ going to be the one they're going on to, but again, he's the raid boss. That 1Q does a hell of a lot of damage, but they do get their man. A little bit disconnected from TT. They almost decided to go in onto the wrong targets, but they still get their man. They still get themselves a kill. But, I mean, you've used a lot of your combination. Yeah, you can just go straight back on top of this Baron.
They still got to be careful, though, because, I mean, there's still a Moonlight Vigil and an Equalizer. Like, TT actually just flew the same amount of ultimates that Weibo did in that fight.
Oh, Hoya!
Dude.
Nearly gets killed.
Right now, Xiaohu doing enough damage, and my god, is this going to be a 2-man army zoning them off? It looks like they can.
They can indeed. They don't have full vision of exactly what's going on. There's the Equalizer down onto the Baron. 1xN has to use the barrier, but they're going back in. It's a smite fight, and TT come out when the Shockwave comes back, but it's not going to be able to get enough on top of it. They will trade back Beichuan, but you take that trade any day of the week. And Lyric, this game isn't done just yet. TT still fighting, still holding on by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, just punishing Weibo in these instances. I honestly feel like one place we've seen Weibo be better in this series is not allowing TT to, like, enter into contest objectives. They can't do that here because they're fighting a 4v5. They're relying on a squishy Lucian to zone off the rest. And I mean, with this Equalizer, what can XiaoHao do? So much damage coming from the side of TT. You get the smite coming through from Beichuan slightly after the one from Jarvan, so he can secure it. Sure, he gives his life. But that was a really ambitious call from Weibo, and I'm so happy it got punished, right? Because you should not be allowed to make those types of calls.
Absolutely, and again, like you said, it was Weibo taking a very risky setup. Now ZDZ isn't going to get jumped on just yet. There was 2 people here waiting for him, but going to be able to walk away from this wave with his life no matter what. But again, like, it's great to see from TT. They didn't allow it to get to a point where they were just going to give up Baron, despite getting that good play to kill off the top laner, despite them looking for a little bit more. Now they can jump on the Beichuan, who has to flash away and pop into the Paranoia. No real objective for the next little bit, though, so this is just a nice little thing for Weibo. It doesn't change really how the dynamic of the game is going to play out.
No, also want to highlight the Serpent's Fang that Lights picked up. I think it's a good call, right? You have the hugs coming from qiuqiu, giving the shield. You have the shield coming out from Ucal. I mean, Rumble having his own shield. Just really shields across the board.
A lot of shields.
Light will be able to take a benefit of having this item. And I guess just another reason why we've been seeing him do so much consistent bursts in these fights, having that lethality there. Now it should be quite hard for Weibo to really find any meaningful damage to structures on the side of TT. But look at the top side jungle, still lit up by Weibo wards. So still some opportunities there to set up picks if they wanted, but it seems like the name of the game right now is running to kill Hoya.
Yeah, Hoya is 2 and 4, and he might be 2 and 5 in a moment. He's going to try and maybe get out of this. Doesn't have TP, and doesn't really have an escape plan right now. He is going to get almost 1v1, to be perfectly honest. Look at the damage from ZDZ. He's going to be able to get killed off right now. Equalizer went down onto the wave. That was basically the only move he had left to do, so there will not be a push back here from Weibo. And again, with a minute 30 until the Elder Dragon spawns, it's not going to mean too much in the grand scheme of this game.
No, I mean, right? Even the Baron for TT was very much like a, hey, we got this, you don't get it. You can't push our base, but still can't really make any meaningful leeway onto the map. I like that we've seen the vision setup from Weibo swap down to the spot side, a whole litter of wards in the enemy jungle right now. Again, I want to see how well Weibo were doing earlier in terms of not even letting TT get into the river, right? The engage was coming before that. You were forcing in those chokes, which was making it so deadly, and now with even more defensive options coming through, plated steel caps, the Kanik Rooker, and Zanya's now picked up. Just all nice spikes heading into this next fight.
I mean, this is it. The thing is that you get an early soul, that's awesome for you. However, it does mean that Elder, the game-ending buff, is on the Rift a hell of a lot sooner. You can see the Baron power play there from TT, only plus 593, so not getting a huge amount off it. You get 1,500 from killing the Baron itself, so still reeling from a little bit of a loss on that particular part, but you have a 3-item Aphelios, you have a 3-item Orianna, and even a 3-item Rumble. Your damage is good from the side of TT. You just need it to line up with the rest of your team, with the rest of your engage. Beichuan looking for something here. You can see the balls on top of him. The shockwave won't land on the primary targets just yet. They'll get the tidal wave to disengage. Beichuan gets dunked on by XiaoHao as the Cataclysm brings him down. That's the Elder, pretty much confirmed. Weibo will take their prize.
Yeah, finding the pick on the jungler, they're going to be able to do this. TT still can't opt into not fighting. They do have 1xN's ult to play around. But still, you have Culling, you have Emperor's Divide. There's still so many tools for Weibo.
Yeah, it's an Infernum ult as well. It's not a Gravitum, it's not a setup really. It's something that's just, you know, pure damage. Shockwave not up and available just yet. ZDZ off to the side, making sure they can't walk in. And TT, they accept their fate. They cannot contest for this. They threw it all on that one engage. And sadly for them, it did not equal anything for them. And now 1xN, he's in a bit of trouble there. He's on a full backup right now with ZDZ. They're cutting them off. They're stopping their escape.
Yeah, and you can see on the minimap, Light's still going to be one. Oh, actually, it looks like they're all going to make their way over again.
They're going to get the flash out of it. There's Xiaohu going in with the Emperor's Divide. Doesn't need any more introductions. Good shockwave to come out here from Ucal, but you guys are on the wrong side of the map, and the Elder Dragon's roar will ring in your ears. Lights will burn you down as you try to go against them. The darkness shall not prevail. Light will keep kicking up kills, and this is going to be Weibo barreling down that top side and taking a 2-0.
I do want to highlight that in the meantime, Hoya did just kill the whole wave. That would have been the next wave for Weibo to push with. So, you know, I'll give like the silver lining kudos of you buying you guys a bit more time. Exactly. Let's go, TT. But I mean, just huge swing from Weibo. I love that Weibo were like, no, we get Elder, we are not letting you escape. You are going down and now going to really start breaking open the space. But 1xN up now, Ucal going to be up in about 15 seconds. Not going to be able to do too much more off this push.
No, not so much more. But let's have a look at the replay here, because again, they're just being like shepherded like sheep, just stopping them from going anywhere.
Yeah, trying to go in. Really nice chains into the flash to force so many flashes off the side of TT. And Xiaohu here has no fear because he has his Zanyas. He knows even if he's under threat of going down, he could buy time. Sadly, clearly didn't expect the damage to come out from Ucal, but Weibo still managed to finish up the fight. Xiaohu thought he got through the worst of it, so he's like, I'm not going down now.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't need to waste my Zanyas. I can have it for the next fight. And the next fight might be the last one, because Baron going to be confirmed here as well. You still have 40 seconds left on the Elder for the whoever has it still on them. And yeah, nearly 10,000 gold. Actually just creeping over to 10,000 gold in favor of Weibo. TT, they don't really have a leg to stand on. They fought valiantly in that game one. It was close. It looked like this series could go a little longer. But I feel like Weibo are very happy with the way things are going right now. Just monstrous, especially like someone like XiaoHao on this Jarvan. Very active, 4-0 and 12. And Hoya, he's looking for a flank. And he might be able to get a good equalizer, but this is it. This is your final fight.
Yeah, and it's just going to be all about this, waiting for Weibo to group up more, but they're giving Weibo
go
a lot of space to play with.
You gotta go. You gotta do something. Here we go. Shockwave into equalizer. Nothing to have, and they will just burn and turn and get everyone absolutely smashed from TT. Crisp won't even fall. It'll be 3 kills, maybe 4 or 5 if they can take down Ucal, but it does not matter. The game is over. The series is done, and Weibo take the 2-0.
Yeah, great to see from Weibo. I really feel like you're getting to see a lot of the consistent upsides to Weibo, and again, how they're playing around some of these chokes, just some of the individual prowess on the roster. We talked about like their pivoting ability in the mid game. You're also seeing some of the problems, the disconnects. We even got that in the early game of this game after ZDZ was able to play around that dive so well, then kind of going to zone jungle, getting caught out. So to me, it's kind of nice that after 2 series, it seems like we know exactly, we know the foundation that Weibo